Welcome to another chapter, that is installment payment system. Let me tell you, my dear students, that this chapter has been overviewed by all of you in the form of hire purchase system. Yes, this is just a replica of my previous video on hire purchase system. So this video on installment payment system is going to be very simple and easy to understand to all of you. So let us begin with me, Dr. Aarti Mudaliar, Department of Commerce, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Well, my dear students, installment payment system is exactly a credit purchase method in which the buyer purchases any asset from the seller on credit basis. Alright, and when he is purchasing the asset from the seller, the property of the goods gets transferred from the vendor to the buyer or the purchaser. As against the installment payment system, the property of the goods were passed at the time of the payment of last installment. This credit purchase method, the possession as well as the property gets transferred to the buyer immediately on the date of purchase itself. And the buyer gets the right over the assets and the vendor loses the right to repossess the asset because of this particular transaction. But definitely he can sue the buyer in case of non-payment of any of the installment, which is nothing but the extended payments of this credit purchase amount. So things are gonna be very simple to all of you to understand that how this particular system is recorded in both the parties. Yes, of course, the both parties in the hire purchase system were hire vendor and hire purchaser. Similarly, in installment payment system also, you will be studying about two parties, that is a vendor and a purchaser or a buyer. Now, in the books of buyer, you will be recording the entry of credit purchase. Similarly, in the books of vendor, you will be recording the entries of credit sale, but along with interest and along with installments. So let us study further that how things move in this particular payment system. My dear children, before moving to the accounting entries, let me introduce you with the terminology you will come across in this particular chapter, which are more or less similar to the previous chapter. The first thing is the buyer or the purchaser. That is the person who is purchasing asset from the vendor on credit basis. The second is the vendor, that is seller, the person who is selling his goods to the buyer on credit basis system, for which he will be receiving amount in a delayed period of time or a deferred period of time in certain fractions or in certain installments. Third important terminology is the cash payment. Cash payment is the total amount of that particular goods which the vendor is selling to the buyer, which includes only the cost price and the profit, but does not include interest. The next thing, exactly same as the hire purchase system, is the down payment or cash down. Now this is the immediate amount paid at the time of sale agreement, or you can say purchase agreement from the point of view of buyer. Alright, so the amount or the fraction of the cash payment made immediately at the time of agreement or at the time of purchase is termed as down payment. We have already studied in the previous chapter. The second thing is the installment. This installment is the fraction of the total credit amount payable, which includes the cash amount or the cash price and the amount of interest as well. Well, in the previous chapter, we had studied about the hire purchase price. Now here you are going to study about a credit purchase price, or simply the total amount of sale, which includes the amount of interest as well. So if you want to find out the cash price, you simply need to deduct the amount of interest from the credit purchase price, the total amount payable to the vendor by the buyer. Alright, so the simple calculations and simple terminology I hope is understood to all of you. Dear students, to get a complete and precise understanding of the installment payment system, let us understand the difference between the hire purchase system and the installment payment system. this is going to make the the accounting entries in the books of buyer as well as seller as per this particular method very easy to understand. All right, so let us go ahead with the difference between the hire purchase system and installment purchase system. I will differentiate it on the basis of certain criteria. The number one being the time of ownership. All right, now when is the time of ownership, or you can understand it in this way, that when the buyer is going to become owner of that particular asset. Well, in case of installment payment system, immediately at the time of purchase of the asset, the buyer becomes the owner. Why? Because the good title or the property of the asset is transferred immediately to the buyer, whereas in the hire purchase system, the ownership is transferred only at the time of the payment of last installment. The second point is right to terminate. Well, the right to terminate the agreement doesn't lie in the case of installment payment system. There is no right to terminate the agreement because once the goods have been sold, the agreement is over. Only the amount of installments has to be paid by the buyer to the purchaser. Whereas in case of hire purchase system, hirer has the right to terminate the agreement and return the goods. All right. Now we move to the third point, and that is charges. Well, that is a very simple point. That is the amount, the fractions of payments which are made by the buyer to the seller are called installments in case of installment payment system. Whereas in hire purchase system, the same installments, the part payments are called hire charges. Okay, it is just a change in the terminology, nothing else. The fourth point being risk or repair, etc. Now, as I said, that in case of installment payment system, since the right to possess and the right of property transfers to the buyer, therefore, all the risk and the repair charges will be borne by the buyer himself. All right. Whereas in case of hire purchase system, since the ownership itself has not been transferred by the seller to the buyer, therefore, the risk lies in the hands of the seller only. So, if any risk or loss arises, it has to be borne by the seller, by the vendor, not by the buyer. Even the repairs are to be done in the due course by the seller only. The next point being right to sell. Well, in case of installment payment system, since the ownership itself has been transferred to the buyer has the right to sell this particular asset. All right, even if he has not made the payments of the installments. Whereas in hire purchase system, the financing company or the vendor has the right to sell the asset, whereas the purchaser cannot sell this particular asset which he has purchased as he doesn't have the ownership. Now the last point is default. Well, in case of default, under installment payment system, the seller has the right to sue only, whereas he cannot repossess the asset. I repeat it, the vendor or the seller does not have any right in case of default made in the installment payment by the buyer in case of installment payment system, but of course he can legally sue the buyer to recover his amount. In case of hire purchase system, in case of default, the asset can be repossessed by the vendor because again, yes, the buyer is not the owner of the goods and the seller still has the right over the asset. So in case of default, the financer can forfeit the money which the buyer has already paid, which will not be refunded to the buyer as per the agreement, and the asset also will be repossessed by the vendor. I hope these differences have made you very clear that how the accounting entries are going to be recorded in the books of buyer and the seller. So let us move to the accounting entries. Well, of course, as the previous chapter, the accounting entries has to be made in both the books, in the books of purchaser and in the books of vendor. So first we are going to see the journal entries to be recorded in the books of purchaser. The simple thing which I would suggest to all of you is, if you have learned all the accounting entries and you are thorough with the accounting entries, in the case of hire purchase system, simply remove the word hire and the remaining amounts or the remaining terms are the journal entries for this particular chapter with a slight change. Just a slight change which I'll just explain you. Okay, so let's move towards the accounting entries in the books of buyer. Well, the twist in this particular case of hire purchase system, and that too when you are recording the entries in the books of buyer, is in the very first entry. Why? Because the purchaser will be recording the entire amount of interest in the very first entry. The entry in the hire purchase system we used to pass as asset account debited to hire vendor only with the cash price, right? But here in the installment payment system, since the buyer already knows that total how much of interest he needs to pay to the hire vendor, and since this is a liability arising on his head at the time of purchase itself, he needs to recognize this liability and record it in his books of accounts at the time of purchase itself. Therefore, he would record the very first entry as asset account debited with the cash price, interest suspense account debited with the total amount of interest to vendor. What did I say? To vendor. Did I say hire vendor? No, because this is not hire purchase system, so we are not going to use the word hire in this particular case. Now, why we have debited interest suspense account? Why not interest account? Well, my dear children, interest has been recognized but it has not been made due at the time of agreement because interest is dependent on the outstanding time, the time till which the amount has been unpaid. So, at the time of purchase, since the time has not been passed, we cannot debit interest. Interest will be debited only once we have secured some time and have made a delayed payment. And that would occur at the end of the year when the installment becomes due. So at the time of purchase, interest suspense account is debited instead of interest account. Alright? Now the second entry could be of the down payment or cash down. And this is passed just same as the previous chapter. So vendor account will be debited and cash account or bank account will be credited. So the simple entry is vendor account debited to cash. Debit the receiver, credit what goes out. So at the time of down payment, only the amount of cash price which is paid as down payment shall be recorded in this particular entry as vendor account debited to cash. And this is also done immediately on the date of purchase. Now, once the time has passed and the installment becomes due, you will have to make due the installment amount. Now, since the entire cash price has already been debited in the beginning of the year itself or at the time of purchase agreement itself, you cannot again debit the asset account. So, how shall we make the installment due? Now, at the time of installment, the amount which is to be debited or made due is the interest. So, the entry for making interest due at the time of installment is very simple to understand. Since you have already created an interest suspense account, you have to credit now interest suspense account and debit the interest. Interest being debited as increase in expense, and this interest suspense account which had been created in the beginning of the year or at the date of purchase will now be credited so that it reduces your liability towards the total interest. So the entry for interest is simple, interest account debited to interest suspense. Now, as soon as you have made the interest due, you will assume as if you have made the installment due. And since the installment is due, you have to make the payment. So come on, pay it off. Vendor account debited to cash. Exactly the same entry which you have made while making the down payment. Now, once this installment has been paid, mind it, this installment will include the cash price and the amount of interest as well. Okay, so after the interest and the installment, the cash price has been paid in the form of installment, you will charge depreciation on the asset. Now, the owner of the goods right now is the buyer, and he is also using the asset, possessing the asset, so depreciation has to be charged at his end. And the entry for depreciation is same, depreciation account debited to asset. Now, be it straight line method or written down value method, the amount of depreciation can be calculated accordingly. Now, mind it, two expenses account you have debited, one interest account, another depreciation account. So what would be the next entry? Yes, of course, you have already studied, transfer it to the profit and loss account. So the next entry, or you can say the last entry, would be simply profit and loss account debited, to interest, to depreciation. These are the sequence of entries which you need to pass in the very first year or in the year of purchase. Now, from the next year onwards, what shall be the set of entries you need to pass? Remove the first two entries and the last four entries will be passed frequently in the subsequent years when you are making the payment of the installments. That means from second year onwards, the entries would be to make the installment due, that would be interest account debited to interest suspense, make the payment of installment by making the entry vendor account debited to cash, charge depreciation by passing the entry depreciation account debited to asset, and transfer to profit and loss account these two expense account, that is profit and loss account debited to interest to depreciation. So every next year, every subsequent year, you need to pass just four entries regularly till the last installment has been paid. Now, once you have understood the journal entries in the books of buyer, let us understand the ledger postings or the accounts which are to be maintained in the books of buyer. Well, now the necessary accounts are 5. Why? Because one more account has been added, that is interest suspense account. So the necessary accounts which are to be prepared in the books of buyer are number 1, asset account, number 2, vendor's account to whom the amount is to be paid, number 3, interest suspense account, then interest account, and 5th, depreciation account. Out of these, the most important account are asset, vendor, and interest suspense. Alright, so let us understand each and every account specifically, and let me tell you that understanding these accounts are very simple. You will be very easily understanding these things because you have already understood the ledger posting in case of hire purchase system, and this is quite similar to the credit purchase method. It is quite similar to the credit purchase method, not the asset accrual method. Okay, so if you have understood credit purchase method perfectly, you will understand this method very easily. So the very first necessary account is asset account. Now remember, the first entry which you had passed in the books of buyer was asset account debit, interest suspense account debit to hire vendor, where asset account was debited with the full cash price amount. Therefore, asset account has to be debited while posting the same entry in the asset account. So write in the debit side as to vendor the entire cash price. Alright, in the debit side, the asset account would start from the debit side by writing to vendor. The name of the vendor would be provided to you in the problem, and that particular name you should write in the debit side, and please enter the full cash price of that particular asset which he is purchasing. Now, in the credit side, only you have to mark depreciation. Every year, at the end of the year, whatever amount of depreciation you will calculate, you will write in the credit side of this asset account, find out the closing balance of the asset, transfer it to the debit side in the next year as opening balance of the asset, again charge depreciation, find the closing balance, transfer this closing balance as opening balance to the next year, and the asset account will go on same like this. Alright, so the very simple way to understand asset account is debit in the very first year on the date of purchase with the name of vendor with the entire cash price, keep on charging depreciation year after year. This important account is vendor's account. Who is vendor? Yes, because of this credit purchase, vendor is a creditor in the books of purchaser. Therefore, vendor account will be credited first. Now, the vendor account was credited in the very first entry with the entire credit purchase price. Entire credit purchase price, which includes the cash price and the total amount of interest. Alright, so you will begin this particular account, vendor's account, on the date of purchase and write in the credit side as by asset and by interest suspense. Against interest, you will write the entire amount of cash price and against interest suspense, you will credit the total amount of interest. And together, these two amounts make the total credit purchase price. Now you have created a liability of the entire credit purchase amount in the credit side in the vendor's account. Now gradually your liability will reduce as you make the payment to the vendor. So if you are making the payment as down payment on the same day, write it in the debit side because you are going to reduce your liability. Alright? So whenever your liability reduces, you have to debit the liability account, the creditor's account. So vendor's account will be debited by writing to bank when you are making the payment of the down payment on the same day. And when the installment is being paid, that is usually at the end of the year, again you have to pass the entry to bank, the installment amount, which includes the cash price as well as interest. Now the valuation of interest and cash price included in each installment, we have very well understood with n number of examples in the previous video. So if you have any confusion regarding the valuation of cash price and interest included in each installment, please refer to my previous video. Coming back to the vendor's account, once you have created a liability with the entire credit purchase price and have made two payments in the very first year, one down payment on the date of agreement, another the amount of installment at the end of the year, some balance would remain. This balance is the liability still outstanding in the account of vendor, which has to be carried forward. So find out the balance in the credit side, in the debit side as balance carried down, pass it on to the credit side as by balance brought down. Alright, now year after year, when you are making the payment of installments, you have to debit the vendor's account because your liability is reducing gradually. So how you're going to record it year after year? Simply debit on the date of installment with the amount of installment and write in the particular column as to bank. Find out the closing balance of that particular year in the debit side as to balance carried down and pass it on to the next year as opening balance and write it as by balance brought down in the beginning of the next year. The same procedure will go on for the subsequent years till the last installment has been paid and your liability towards vendor gets over. Now the next important account is interest suspense account, which you had debited in the very beginning of the year, or you can say on the date of purchase. So definitely this account will be debited with the name of vendor. Okay, so in the debit side, write down to vendor on the date of agreement with the total interest amount. Now, whenever the installment becomes due, you have to credit this amount and write as by interest because this is the amount of interest you made due on the date of installment. Alright, so maybe at the end of the year or whatever date has been mentioned to you in the question, on that particular date of installment, write by interest and simply write the amount of interest included in the first installment. Only the amount included in the first installment. Which amount? The interest amount. After that, find out the balance in the credit side itself as by balance carried down. Bring it down to the debit side in the beginning of the year as to balance brought down and keep on passing the same entry as by interest every time you make the installment due. That means in all the subsequent years, you simply need to write in the credit side as by interest, find out the balance and transfer it to the next year, till all the installments are paid and the interest suspense account becomes nil. The next two accounts are very simple and you have already studied it in the previous chapter as well. Now the interest account will be understood with a slight change. Earlier, in the interest account, we used to write as to hire vendor because every time you make the installment due, we used to pass the entry interest account debited to hire vendor. Now since the hire vendor has already been credited with the full amount of cash price and the interest in the beginning of the year itself or at the time of purchase itself, now every time you are making the interest due or the installment due, you are passing the entry interest to interest suspense. Therefore, interest account will be debited and you will write in the particular column to interest suspense with the amount of interest included in each installment. So every year you simply need to write 2 interest suspense and transfer the entire amount to the profit and loss account at the end of the year. Similarly, depreciation account will also be prepared. You need to debit the depreciation account as to asset with the amount of depreciation charged every year and transfer this amount in the credit side by writing by profit and loss account. I hope these 5 accounts are absolutely clear to all of you, which are to be prepared in the books of buyer, purchaser that is. In my next video, we will be coming across the accounting entries passed in the books of vendor and how the entries are recorded in the ledger, how these postings are done in the ledger in the books of vendor, and we would be practicing it more. Till then, keep healthy, keep safe.